fantastic border. And how we make this one, we're going to need the Baroque Frame Punch. We're going to need a piece of paper that is 4 inches by 12 inches. So this piece here that we have punched was 4 inches by 12 inches. And we're going to punch it all the way around the outside edge of the frame with this frame punch. And I'm going to show you how to do that. How you want to do that is, instead of lining up your paper inside the punch with that black guideline on the front there, you'll want to line up your paper edge with the silver guideline that is on the wing. So we get that aligned first of all with the silver guideline out there. Give that a punch and you'll see that the paper has this little square corner edge still remaining. And we're going to turn the paper around and we're going to line up that edge there with the silver line on this guide, and then the edge of the other side of the paper with the silver line on this guide. This frame punch works in this way with anything that's a multiple of 4 on one side and a multiple of 2 on the other. So you could have a 8-inch by 12-inch sheet of paper, you could have a 12-inch by 12-inch sheet of paper, and you can punch around the frame. So I've just turned my paper around again, so I'm cutting off the little corners, as you can see here with the punch. So now what we do, now that we've come around the edge, we want to align the design of the punch with the wing. Let me just turn that around so you can see. We want to align the design on the blue design on the wing and continue punching in that way along the long side of the paper. And that is until we get to the point where we have this corner piece left, and then we turn the paper. I'm just going to get rid of my scraps under there. Then we turn the paper and slide that in once we get to the corner and line that up again with the silver guidelines. Now we've got that corner piece there again, we can turn that around and we're back onto the other long edge. Lining up that edge, the straight edge of the paper with that silver guideline. Get rid of that scrap. Now that we've got the design there, we can start aligning the punch with the guideline, the pattern on the wing. Keep going along until we've finished punching this piece. It's as easy as that. Okay, off we go with all those scraps. So that is how we punch around a rectangle shape of paper with a frame punch. Now to construct this border, you'll need a 2-inch by 12-inch strip of paper, and then a 1.5-inch by 12-inch strip of paper. Cardstock or paper, if you wanted to use paper, if you had something that worked nicely together. I like the solid element of the cardstock along with something that's designer. Place some adhesive down on that so that you can then position that nice and evenly over your backing pieces, and then you decorate. So add a little cluster of stickers or embellishments with that, add some bling with some gemstone stickers from an embellishments pack, and it will look absolutely beautiful on your pages. So there are the measurements for that one again. So you'll want to start with a 4-inch by 12-inch sheet of paper, punch the frame around the outside of the rectangle. You'll want a 2-inch by 12-inch strip of paper and a 1.5-inch by 12-inch strip of cardstock, and then you put that all together. So on to our last border, and we've got our sizes here for our last border. We have this gorgeous border, so it's like a little layered look there. And how we achieve that layered look is once again with your Baroque Frame Punch and your trimmer. you'll want to trim up yourself a strip of cardstock that is 2.5 inches by 12 inches. And then you'll want some little rectangles of paper. So all of these rectangles of paper are 4 inches by 2 inches. And you'll want, I've already taken the liberty of punching the ends of some of these, but you'll want 4 of paper number 1 that you've punched the ends of in the Baroque Frame Punch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You'll want 2 pieces of paper number 2. You want to make sure that they're contrasting colours so that you're going to see a nice difference as you go through the gradient of positioning those together in a nice gradient style look there. So 2 of paper 2 and then 3 of paper number 3. So these are the pieces I'm going to punch for you in this demonstration now before I start putting everything together. Now with your Baroque Frame Punch, using these guidelines on the front of the punch, you'll want to slide your piece of paper in so that it is perfectly aligned between those 2 guidelines that are on the front of the punch. So 2 inches wide fits in there perfectly. So make sure you've popped it all the way in up to the very back of the punch, and you feel that press up to the back of the punch. You'll just want to hold it there carefully so it doesn't move around. So that's the result of punching one side. So you'll want to punch paper 1, paper 2 on one edge only, as I've done with all of these pieces, and then punch 2 of paper number 3 on one side, but then you'll want to punch both sides of your last piece of paper number 3. So we'll do one side first. So this becomes just a little bit harder to hold in there because you don't get much real estate left to grab onto, so just do your best. So there we go, I've got that piece done now. All the scraps can move aside. And then we're up to assembling. So the way to assemble this is you will need some repositionable tape runner. You'll need all of your pieces that you've trimmed and punched. And starting with paper number 1, flip it over to the back side, put a bit of adhesive on and position that at the top. Go with paper number 2 next. So we'll do one end first. So you see also how I'm placing my tape runner across the punched design at the top there. So paper number 3. So like that, I'm making sure that this area of the punch where it has the holes, the paper where it has the holes has some adhesive on it as well, which is what is so great about your repositionable tape runner, that you can do that. So we're back to paper number 1 now. And you know, you get a little bit of adhesive stuck on your table there, you can just rub that away. Okay, so back to paper number 1. Now we're going to turn that around and we're going to adhere the other end now. So starting paper number 1. Just eyeballing the center of your cardstock strip there, and then as you work the way down, just align the edges of the paper strips with each other. Beautiful bright colors, bold colors in this picture, this paper pack that I'm using for this border. All right, there we go. So that is back to paper number 1, and now we're going to adhere the last piece over the center. So that's going to go over the center of the border design. And then you can decorate that to your heart's content. So there we go. We've got borders that we made in a flash, just like these ones, ready for your next scrapbooking creations. Thank you very much, everyone.